on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
The future of farming is here. The Tobago Agri-Tech Summit 2024 is happening December 1st to 3rd at the Shore Park Complex. With climate change reshaping our agriculture, it's time to adapt. Discover the latest in farming and fishing technology, sustainable practices, and innovative solutions. Get inspired by industry leaders, cutting-edge tools, and hands-on experiences. Tickets and more info at tags.gov.tt or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Tobago Agri-Tech.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning in studio, and we speak with Mrs. Tamika Seals-Mansano, Director of Food Crop Production. Yes, we are talking about Agri-Tech Innovation Summit. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Good morning to Tobago and the wider listening and viewing public.
Right. So we're talking about this summit. We had a brief conversation yesterday with one of your officers about this summit. But what I want to find out is the genesis behind having this summit. I know it's targeted at farmers in general, but tell us about the idea. What was the concept and what gave you the thought that perhaps we should do something like this to lend that measure of support to farmers?
Okay, so you would have noticed over the weekend there was a lot of flooding in Trinidad. That is just one of the examples of climate change. And agriculture and fisheries is particularly vulnerable to these particular incidents where you have weather systems changing, you have extreme shifts in ecosystems and so on. So through a collaborative effort and in terms of the division and interacting with our stakeholders, we have recognized that this is one of the areas that we need to look at in terms of mitigating against climate change. And that is how we came up with the theme, climate change, resilience and adaptation in agriculture. So we're focusing on crops, livestock and the fisheries sector in this upcoming summit.
You know, it's amazing that the theme, now that I have that breakdown of the theme, understanding the theme, how are you going to implement the innovation to support farmers away from the, as you mentioned, the flooding, stuff like flooding and things that happen to erode their farms? And, you know, how is that going to be practiced or implemented for them to be able to have a handle on that?
Right, so that's exactly why we're having this summit. It's a means of exposing persons to the opportunities out there, the technology that is available and exists, new techniques and adaptation strategies and sustainable practices that they can implement on their holdings, whether it's in fisheries, whether it's in livestock, or whether it's in crops. And in that way, they are able to maximize their production and aid in food security on the island.
And what type of topics would be discussed at this summit?
Okay, so we have a range of topics. I'll just give you a few. So we have Agri-Tech's role in tackling climate change. We have thermoregulation in livestock, aquaculture, I'm just going through the list, soil-free success in terms of harnessing hydroponics, you know, all these different things. We have drone technology, the use of satellites and so on. All these techniques and Agri-Tech are measures that the farmers can use to implement better practices on their farm so that they can be more productive in terms of having produce available for downstream industries like the agro-processors and so on. And of course, they can boost their production and, bottom line, their dollars and cents.
Yes. Right. And, you know, you mentioned that it is for poultry, livestock, crops and fisheries, right? So that kind of covers agri in general, employing the use of the technology that is available to increase productivity and, of course, to reduce those types of impacts from nature, as we're talking about climate change here in this particular instance. In terms of the layout of the summit, how is it going to be? I know it's 2 days.
Yes.
Is it going to be a classroom type setting where all the farmers, let's say for instance, I'm into fisheries, what sessions do I sit into? Do I sit into all? What is the package looking like?
All right. So the summit will take place at the Shore Park complex. And because we're catering for a wide range of persons, we're catering for foragers, home gardeners, farmers, policymakers, the whole gamut of the stakeholders in agriculture, innovators, and technocrats. It means that we have to have a kind of unique approach at the summit. So we will be having the academic track, where persons can come in and listen to lectures and that kind of thing. But we'll also have interactive sessions where there will be demonstrations and workshops as part of, and displays as part of the summit. And of course, we'd also have breakout rooms. So if you're interested in a particular topic, you'd go to that particular breakout room in order to gain the knowledge and interact with the presenter. So you can have your questions answered and raise your concerns and what you're seeing in your own holding, so that you can perhaps get solutions to those particular problems.
So you're not necessarily sitting in a classroom or in a room, a session rather, that is not really relative to your type of farming. So you go to that's absolutely amazing. In terms of the content, or in terms of the presenters, I mean, I know you had to look for the intelligence far and wide, the professionals in the field who have the experience, who's probably done the research and have the information to share. Could you tell us a little bit about who some of the presenters are going to be?
Sure. So we have persons that the farmers are quite familiar with. For example, Marcus Michael. We have Mr. Potter Bruno. Those are names that you're familiar with. I will be there. Yes. We have persons from the University of the West Indies, from AICA, such as Dr. Ryan Mohammed. He's from the University of the West Indies. He is a very down-to-earth lecturer at the university. He's hands-on. He's very knowledgeable in his particular field, which is aquaculture and marine. So we have a number of persons in different aspects that lend itself to the agricultural sector and boosting it. We even have economists. You wouldn't think so, but you need to be cross-sectoral in order to actually mitigate climate change. We have persons in terms of hydroponics, like Brandon Abraham. Persons are going to be talking about protected agriculture in terms of in innovative structures like shade houses and so on. So there are going to be a lot of video presentations, a lot of demonstrations, a lot of things for people to see and hear, so that they can implement it in their enterprise.
You know, this sounds so very, very interesting, you know, not into agriculture myself, but just the way that the information is being shared this morning, it seems as if it's going to be interactive in terms of you can, you know, interface with the technology to kind of have a hold as to what is going to happen. In terms of registrations and persons who you're targeting, I mean, you mentioned the schools, the clubs, the farmers and stuff. How do persons register, and are you able to say what the fee is in terms of, is there an all-inclusive package, or is it that I can come on the first day and I don't have to come on the second day? How does that work out?
All right, so you can purchase tickets at Island E-Tickets. You can get it at you can get it at TAG's office. That's at Milshelf Building, Division of Food Security. You can go on the website or the Facebook page. So the website is www.tags.gov.tt. The Facebook page is Tobago Agri-Tech Services Limited, or the division's website or Facebook page. In terms, actually right now we have a Black Friday sale on, so prices are reduced. You know, we have to give something back. It's the Christmas season, time for giving. So it's $100 for students. For 1 day general would be $200 and $250 for the 2 day general. Now, the 2 day general entitles you to access to the post-summit social, to food items, and to certain material. Yes? So if I was the normal man on the road, I would take the 2 day package. Yeah, it's cost effective and you'll get a whole lot out of the experience.
Yeah, because the 1 day package is $200 and the 2 day package is $250. So of course it makes a lot more, you know, in terms of dollars and cents, right? And in terms of the information you would be receiving there. And so far, what has the registration been looking like? Have you been able to reach the groups that you've been targeting? Have they been responding? Are they excited? What is the word on the ground where that is concerned?
Right, so we have a number of persons already registered. We have the support of the Division of Education. So they are already sponsoring at least 4 schools to attend. And the package is very competitive, nice low rates. So the persons can come in now with the Black Friday sale, take advantage of that. And this afternoon, actually, we're going to be having a meeting. The Secretary of Food Security, Ms. Panton, she will be at the Shore Park Food Hub from 6 p.m. this evening. So persons can come out. We've invited farmers to come out to the event so that they can learn more about the summit and avail themselves of the opportunity to register. So it's not too late to register.
It sounds very, very interesting. And of course, I do hope that the farmers come out and register. Is it restricted to farmers in Tobago, or is it open to, let's say, for instance, I farm in Trinidad and I heard about this summit and I believe that the information that will be shared there will be beneficial to me. Can I come across to Tobago and participate?
Right. So the challenges that we experience are not just in Trinidad and Tobago. It's across the wider Caribbean. It's in fact global, these issues. What is particular about this summit is that it is open to everyone. From the Caribbean, it's open to persons in Trinidad, and it's open to us in Tobago. We are right here. Let us take advantage of the opportunity, the knowledge that's going to be shared, the experts that are coming in to give the information, the persons in technology, what's available out there. There are prizes to be won, which when you come this afternoon, you will hear about at the Food Hub at 6 p.m. So there's a lot to get out of this summit.
And, of course, people like to hear about prizes, they like to hear about tokens. Yes. But outside of that, it sounds as if the package that is being presented, it has a lot of content in it that persons can benefit from when they participate in the event. And I do hope that persons come out and they get the information and that they get to be a part of it, know what is happening and know how they can use the technology. In terms of learning about the technology, right? Let's take it a step further. So I've come to this summit. I've been a part of this, and now it's time for me to implement. Is there any type of support that will be given to participants to whether they can access the technology, whether they can access equipment, or whether it's finances or investment into their farms to implement what they have learned during the summit?
And that's a good question. So at the summit itself, we would have financiers. When we reduce our risk by implementing or utilizing the new techniques and strategies and tools that you're going to be hearing about, it means that because you reduce your risk, you open yourself to greater investment opportunities. So we have persons like ADB and Republic Bank who have new packages in agriculture and that they will be offering. So there's the financial support that will be there after the summit. And of course, the division will have its technical persons available to assist in terms of setup, in terms of advice, in terms of linking you with the right persons in order to establish your enterprise.
All right. As I said, I really am interested to see how this rolls out and how people would participate. Remind us again about the dates for the summit, time, place, and costs.
Right, so we start off with the pre-event with the Chocolate and Mud Festival on the 1st of December at the estate. That's from 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then we move into the 2-day exhibit, which is the 2-day summit, on the 2nd and 3rd of December from 9 to 4 each day. And that will be at the Shore Park Complex. And we have the Black Friday sale on, as I said before. It's only $100 for students, $200 for general for 1 day, and $250 for the 2-day general package. Yes, so come out and support. It's an opportunity for us to take agriculture forward and to build food security on the island.
Thank you so much, Tamika. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Mrs. Tamika Seals-Mansano, Director of Food Crop Production, and we're talking about the Agri-Tech Innovation Summit upcoming. And we do hope that you got all the information and that you are ready to register and be a part of what is happening there. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio this morning. And as we go for a break, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.